Welcome to Pauline's Place. Yesterday I talked about Mary Lou Walker, someone who I felt I had a kindred spirit with. I loved to listen to her and to be with her, but she lived in upper New York State and I lived in Australia at the time. I travelled a long way to see her because I could see from her songs that there was something about her I could learn from. And all that effort to get there, the cost, and just, I think, 2 or 3 days. But what I said, that led to her coming to our church in Sydney. I organised for her visit, and then she came for a brief visit to New Zealand. I forgot about that. Why do I tell you this? Because after a woman had given birth to 8 children, she started writing songs. And this is what she says. She says, I don't know where they come from. They're just there. And if you start to experiment and let it come out, and that's what she would do. She wrote songs about socks. Can you imagine how many socks were in her house with 8 kids? I want to talk about her spirit and the spirit that touched me deeply in her singing. Well, one, that spirit gave her children freedom. Now, they lived in a country area of upper New York State. But when I was there staying with her, the children would come and go. They all felt secure in the framework of their family, but they were part-time jobs. There were lots of activities on their little farm. There were errands to run. And she didn't worry too much about whether their room was pristinely clean. She just cared whether they were fed and whether they were doing okay. And her spirit seemed to move into them because they wanted to do okay, didn't worry too much about what was the latest fashion, and seemed to have a purpose in their life, even though they were never sure at that time that I met them what career they would have. Now, about her music. Her music and her commitment to teach children, to be with older people, to build community through her music, won her the Jefferson Award. Well, I don't know much about American awards. She won this at 90 years of age after maybe 40 years of service to her wider community and actually to the world. I wanted to read to you what she said about her music, her songwriting. Here she goes. I just started writing songs. Don't ask me how or why or when. I couldn't read music or anything. But I tell other people, they have a lot of tunes in their heads, but you don't know how to get them out. And then you never know what's in there until you start doing it. And so she did it with a $2 guitar she purchased from a second-hand store. It was a very long time ago, but that's where she started. And as 90, she says this, and I love it. Keep doing what you're doing because the need is great and the number of people to do it is not nearly as great as what we need. Now, what is she talking about? I think she's talking about if we're doing something positive, trying hard at something, maybe not succeeding so well, but making a difference with one person here, one person there. I don't think she had too many just please yourself, great big holidays in her life. She was taken over by this passion and she shared it with her family. Well, I think I'm sharing some of her because of the way she influenced me, just a little bit. And I want to keep on doing it. And I wonder about all the influence that's gone into you and what you can do with it. When I'm with children, either organising something or even having a little choir session, because in our church we have a choir. I'm not there anymore, but the choir is still going, little children's choir. But even many years ago, in fact, ever since I met Mary Lou Walker, and particularly when I watched her work when she came to Australia, I like to use one of her songs. and it's called Here Is My Hand, and it's like a blessing. And I see the children learning it very tiny, and I don't feel that it's too childish. I use it for me, so this is my tribute to Mary Lou Walker and her influence on me, and perhaps a little blessing for you. Here is my hand, here is the other, here is a smile, here is another. You are my friend, my sister, my brother. May happiness and peace be with you. See you tomorrow.